Hi, welcome to part 4 of our journey with the Oberheim OBSX, a very underrated and very usable little synth if you haven't got the money or the space even for an Oberheim OBXA or even an Oberheim OBX. I'm starting with Bank B this time. We'll go through the programs there. You've already heard B1, the horn. Classic Oberheim sort of horn sound. So I'm going to add some attack and tweak it. And you've now got a sound a bit like Vangelis's I Hear You Now, that sort of bass sequence that he has going. Well, I think he probably uses a Roland for that. Speaking of Rolands, if I had a bit of release. So you've now got something like Human League sort of sound of the crowd bass. Also, while I was playing around with this sound, if any of you listen to the Thompson Twins, say Love on Your Side, you sort of get like a... I believe they use an Oberheim OBXA for the bass on that. So you can sort of begin to hear where some of the sounds you're probably familiar with have come from. Also, if I use unison with it, that's a bit too powerful for me. So what I do, take the 3 screws out of each end. So I've always got the panel open. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll disable some of my voices. We'll disable voices 4 and 5. So you can do that with little dip switch you've got. You can actually enable and disable to your heart's content. So if you've got a duff voice, just drop it out. So now we've thinned it out, so now the unison is only playing with 3 voices, and I've got a powerful bass, but it's not too muddy now. So effectively we've got 3 oscillators. Music for leads, open the filter up. I'll put the voices back because we're going to need them for the other sounds. So it's normally push the switches up to the on position, down to turn them off. So there, for those of you that have been frightened of taking your machine apart and have a look inside, there you go, it's quite easy. Sound number 2 is a Celeste, or Celeste. Take it down an octave. D-tune doesn't sort of do anything here which suggests it's using maybe cross modulation. Nice little usable sound. 3, as you've probably learned by now, is going to be a string sound. This time it's high strings. Sorry, I couldn't risk a bit of Depeche Mode New Life. It's a single oscillator sound. Oh, don't know, there might be a second oscillator there. Too buzzy, take the filter cut off down. 4 is a typical sort of Keith Emerson-y sort of sound. It's a 5th brass sound. if you listen to Genesis turn it on again, you get something like that. Good for chords as well, and you can play some weird pads with it. Five, surprise, surprise, an organ. More of a pipe organ sort of sound, but it reminds me if any of you have ever had a Moog Prodigy, a sound called Elephant and Flea. Where you've got the oscillators, two oscillators split by more than an octave, so it gives like a... Six is a special effect sort of sound, it's OBSX choir. Sounds quite digital in a way. But I can assure you it's all analogue, all relying on Curtis chips mainly. Seven's a harp. But I actually find it quite useful as for like a... It's got quite a rich bottom end as well, though you might not pick that up because we are using the two little microphones built into the front of this camera, unfortunately. Finally, sound number 8, you've got there in the end. This is a, is it pronounced Calliope? So it's more of a, yeah. But you can play around a bit with it. One thing you might find is you have to turn the knobs almost all the way clockwise and all the way anti-clockwise to sort of free the setting to be able to use it to the full extent. It's not bad for bass, I've just shown you. Anyway, that's Bank B.